Can oh my good lord, can we just all admit that you already know what to do and you're just not doing it? So, one thing I want to talk about today is negotiating with yourself. I just had a situation pop up recently with someone who walked in the gym asking for help, needed help. They've been struggling for 9 years. They are 25 years old. They're 340 pounds. They're 340 pounds, they're 50% body fat. Their visceral fat was off the charts. It was got to be 20 plus. They're pre-diabetic. They have a history of their family being pre-diabetic. I can't even talk right now. And they decided to do nothing pretty much, or go back to their old ways when I presented them solutions to their problem, multiple solutions to their problem. So that's what we're talking about today on pack mentality. And yes, it's been another hot minute since I've done a podcast. I'm working on getting more on point with this. I'm still building Echo skis right now, so still building out the gym. So it's still the main project, content being second. So this is frustrating. And this is one of those episodes where if nothing changes, then nothing changes. It's pretty simple. So this guy walked in, and like I said, 25 years old, 340 pounds body fat, 340 pounds, 50% body fat, whatever. And he's like, man, I really need to get in shape. And I'm like, okay, well, what's holding you back right now? And he's like, I've just been really off and on, inconsistent. I've been going to school. I've been doing X, Y, and Z. It's just hard for me to continually get into the gym. I'm like, okay, well, what have you tried that has worked? And he told me about how he did an app from one of his friends who was a trainer. I'm like, great. Is that the most successful thing you've done? He's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, well, what's stopping you from going back and doing that? And he's like, well, the app it's an app, he's like, it's not very motivating. He's like, it worked for a short period and then he just fell off again. And I'm like, have you tried the regular gym? And he's like, yes, that didn't work either. I'm like, okay, no worries. Now, I took him back and I did an in-body scan with him. That's where I found all the data. Presented to him, showed him, and I told him, I'm like, at Red Wolf, we make our decisions based on evidence and data. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but you are in a downward spiral. And the best time to start this was 5 to 10 years ago, working on this problem. And he was like, oh, he's like, I agree. I'm like, okay, great. I'm not trying to make you hurt your feelings here, just trying to present the facts and present the best solution for you. And then during this time, and that's when I found out he was struggling with this for the last 9 years. I mean, 9 years is a long time where you're kind of going off and on. And mind you, this dude's only 25 years old. Yeah, I asked him. I'm like, dude, you're 25 years old. You are this overweight and you have no game plan on what to actually do. And I just wanted to give him a quick reality check, because a lot of times when I talk to people who are a little bit younger, or, they are a little more stubborn or they're more naive on how dire their situation is. So I try to just present it with facts, and I try and tell them very bluntly, like, if I'm, any kind of a sport coach, which I pretty much am, or a parent, just being like, hey, I feel for you. I want you to be successful. This is what's happening, and here are the solutions to fix that. And it's frustrating when I mean, it's frustrating for anyone. I don't care when people just don't want to do anything about it, especially when they're asking for help. I think we've all been in those situations where you've wanted to help someone, or someone came to you asking for help, and they're like, yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to do this instead. This happens with my kids all the time. They're like, I don't need help. And then 2 minutes later, they're like, can you help me open my cheese? It's like, you're like, oh, I thought you could do it. Now here you are. So, it's just one of those reality checks where you don't say the same as that you're going to slide. And over time, the weight compounds, health issues compound, habits compound, and it's not a plateau, that these things get worse, especially over time. Like, you think it's bad now when you're 25, just wait until you're 40, dude. The next 15, even 30, 5 years, 30, 27, 2 years. It's getting even worse. And this is the issue, is that I asked him, there's a point in the conversation where I'm like, okay, look, man, like, you've been struggling the last 9 years with this. Now tell me, if you keep doing what you're doing, what's the next 2 years look like? And he very confidently said, he's like, well, I'll stay the same. And I looked at him and I go, really? I didn't laugh, but I was like, interesting. And then I just kind of kept proceeding because I was kind of baffled. I'm like, okay, well, and this is my litmus test when I decided whether or not I want to work with someone, is that I want to know, I'm like, dude, are you worth my time? Are you worth my time to work with? Are you, where are you at mentally in this process? Because I don't want to work with someone or give someone to one of my staff that is half committed, because then it's a waste of your money and their time when we could be working with someone who actually wants to be here and make a change. And that's the people who actually make changes, are the ones who are all in. They want to do this. I mean, think about this with like any other relationship. Like this is a relationship based business. This is a relationship based training system. Like if you can't trust your coach and I can't trust you, then this is not going to go well for either of us. And we're both going to end up disappointed. So when we choose to work with people, it's like, I got to filter them. I got to know, like, hey, like, how committed are you really to getting this done? Because it's the same thing when you wouldn't want to date or marry someone who's like, you know what, I really like you, but I'm going to go check out these other dudes or these other chicks in the meantime, just to see what my other options are. It's like, well, what would you do as a person? You probably wouldn't go beg them, or like, I don't know how you are. Like, I'm not going to judge. I don't care. But you're not going to go off and beg them, be like, oh, please don't do that. I got this. I got X. You're not going to sell yourself, right? You're just going to be like, you're not worth my time then, right? Same thing with me, is like, I got to know if you're worth my time, because my time is valuable, because I have a lot of people who want to work with me or work with my team. And so I don't want to poison the well with people who come in and then they're like kind of half-assing it essentially in the gym, or half-assing their effort. Then they complain about the results, and then I have to babysit them. And then that increases my workload just to, pep talk them all the time that you can do this. It's like, dude, you're an adult, man. Like, I don't care how old you are. It's like, it's time to start making changes here. And that's really important to us as a gym, because that's just who we like to work with. That's who gets results. That's also who doesn't annoy everyone else around them, because I've had one member poison 5 good members, and then those 5 good members got irritated and, well, they didn't leave, but they considered leaving until I decided to make the tough call of removing people from the gym, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made. And we've been good ever since. And then ever since then, that's why we have our filtering system in place. So again, back to the original idea that he is stuck. He's been stuck for the last 9 years. Doesn't think he's going to backslide at all. And I go, okay, well, I just kind of flip the script on him. I'm like, okay, well, how important is it for you to lose 50 pounds? And on like a scale of 1 to 10, just so I mentally had a number on how important this was to him, because I need to know. And he said, I'm a 10 out of 10, man. I'm like, okay, great. So you are committed to this? He's like, 100%. I'm like, great. I like, and I go, man, that's who I like to work with. I like to work with people who are ready to make a change and are unapologetic about it. I love that. I'm like, okay, great. And here's the issue though. He started having contrast behavior versus priority. And the point is, when people say it's important, but then their actions say it's not, then it's not important. You can tell me all the stories. You can tell yourself stories all you want. You can project your narrative. You can tell yourself it's going to be okay, just like how he was doing, but it's not okay, is it? And that's an issue that we have, is that we are negotiating with ourselves. And this is the main thing. If you're going to take one thing away from this podcast today, is that you need to stop negotiating with yourself. We do this all the time. Maybe not on the level of this guy. And I hope to God that he's okay. He did not join. I'll just tell you now. But I hope to God that he figures it out at some point and either comes back to us or finds something that does work that we can actually get down. And like, he should probably be in like maybe the 250, 225 range for his height. And I really hope this works out for him. But stop negotiating with yourself, because we talk ourselves out. Notice that we always talk ourselves out of doing the things that we know we need to do. We need to eat vegetables. We need to sleep 7 hours. We need to work out more. We need to get 10,000 steps. And we need to manage our stress. I mean, I know those are all difficult, but we need to find a way to negotiate ourselves out of that all the time. But we very rarely find a way to negotiate ourselves into doing the things that we actually need to do. Makes no sense, but that's just human nature right there. Our human nature is to avoid any kind of energy, is to conserve energy at all times, which makes sense. Our evolutionary biology says that, because when we were living in caves and stuff. It's like we got to conserve energy because we have a limited amount of food. But now we have many options. We have DoorDash now, guys. You can DoorDash healthy food. But yeah, I digress. So at the breaking point here is that when I presented our options after he said he was a 10 out of 10, he was like, you know what, man, like I just got to think about it. And I said, okay, no worries. I appreciate you, being honest with me. Now tell me, because I've done this for a very long time. Every time someone tells me they need to think about it, it's either the price or the program. So which one is it? And he said, well, it's definitely the price. I wasn't expecting to pay that much. And I go, okay, great. No worries. That's not easy to tell me because you just met me and, I'm not offended by that. Now, have you ever done a training program like this before? And he goes, no. I'm like, okay, that's what I figured because you've done the app, you've done the Globo Gym before. And I go, were you happy with the results that you were seeing from what you were doing before the last 9 years? And he goes, no. He's like, I've gotten worse actually. And I'm like, okay. Now, what are you comparing our program to? And he said, well, I'm just comparing it to, the regular gym. I thought this was going to be like $25 a month, and I would get personal training and I would get, the classes and I could do open gym. And I go, yeah, buddy, sorry, but you're not going to get personal training and group and like any kind of training classes for $25 a month anywhere. And anyone who is offering that, they're going to be giving you a very diluted service. And he was like, oh, okay, like I get it. I'm like, okay. And I go, so what do you want to do, my man? And he said, I'm going to go try the regular gym again, the Globo Gym again. And I go, you already tried that. You've been off and on the last 9 years. Like, what's your game plan to actually solve this problem? And he goes, well, this time it'll be different. And I go, how so? And he's like, I'm actually going to do it this time. I'm like, do what? He's like, I'm going to work out. And again, like we always get kind of these service level answers from people, especially when they're indecisive or they just don't want to actually make a change, or maybe, and probably is the price. And that's fine. But we live in Orange County, California, in Huntington Beach. We live in one of the most affluent areas in the country. Like, you can always find a way to invest in your health at some point. Like, I forgot to mention this, but he was also spending about $200 to $250 a week on DoorDash alone. So there it is. Like 1 week, you don't DoorDash for 1 week. It's going to have a double whammy too, because guess what? You're going to lose weight because you're not DoorDashing $250 a week on Taco Bell or whatever crap you're eating. And on top of that, you're going to be training. So it's like, it's a win-win situation here. It's a no-brainer, man. And then it's just funny that regardless of how far we've evolved as human beings, and despite having abundance of information on the internet, even Instagram is pretty good information nowadays, even though it's not 100% reliable. We have ChatGPT now, we have Claude, we have all these AI softwares. You can find anything you need or talk to any expert. You can almost talk to any expert, if you pay them enough, or if you DM them and be like, what's your time worth? You can find out any information you want. And yet we still make emotional decisions or decisions that avoid actually solving the problem in the first place. You notice that people will always do everything that resembles fitness or eating healthy without actually doing it. They'll do whatever it takes to avoid it, the gym in the first place, or avoid coaching. And I personally, I don't get it. I mean, if you want to solve a problem the most effective way and the most efficient way, then you get coaching. Like that's just how it is. And I wish more people knew that. Now, the core, let's go into the lie. Oh my God, the lie we tell ourselves about negotiating. He said back to it that he said that this time it'll be different, and he is lying to himself. And we lie to ourselves all the time. We talk ourselves out of doing it. Oh my God, I'm rubbing my eyes right now if you can't see me, or I can't stand this. Anyway, it pains me just to talk about this right now. So we're going to break this down. Okay. So the lies we tell ourselves, we have the same environment, we have the same triggers, right? So guess what? You're door dashing Taco Bell or whatever crap you're eating for $250 a week, but saying that you cannot afford the gym makes no sense. Logic, done. Logic, evidence, utility, you are out. you're gonna have the same triggers. And again, tried the Globo Gym before, didn't work. 9 years struggling with this, still gonna go back and do it. Same habits. Guess what? Still making those same dumb decisions by being indecisive. By being indecisive, that means you already think you're gonna quit. Guess what he's been doing? The pattern is that he keeps quitting. He can't stick with anything longer than 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So same behaviors, same habits, and then you got the same thinking, which equals the same outcome. The same thinking all the time. Like this time it'll be different. Guess what? You're going to have the exact same outcome, except those outcomes are eventually going to start compounding and it's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And all these things can be established. And the earlier you establish this in your life, the easier it gets because it becomes a part of your identity. And that's the kind of people we want to work with. We want to work with people who the gym is a part of their identity. I'm sorry to say it. That might sound extremist. Oh, sorry. That scared me. Axel scraped the front door. Like, oh, someone's coming in here. It is 6:39 a.m. on a Saturday where I'm recording this. So anyways, same thinking, same outcomes. And nothing changes if nothing changes. I'm going to say that again. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep repeating the exact same things, you keep negotiating with yourself, you're just going to stay the same. And if you are staying the same, you're not happy with the results, well, talk to one of us and we will help you, because a lot of people constantly whine and complain about why they're not seeing progress. And every time we tell them, we ask them questions like, well, what are you currently doing on this on the back end, especially when it comes to the back end, like nutrition, sleep, stress, what time to go to bed, what time to wake up. And then when I check in with them 30 days, I tell, hey, like, stop watching TV till midnight and go to bed at 11 or 10. And you just bump it up a little bit every week. And they're like, okay. And then I check in with them 30 days later and they're still doing the same freaking thing. I almost swore again. And then they wonder why they're still in the same place, because they don't make any changes. They just fall right back into the same routine. And they think that 1 hour workout, 1 hour group class 3 times a week is somehow going to solve their problems. That's just not enough. And people grossly underestimate the volume it takes and the amount of effort it takes to be successful in fitness or have anything worth in general. And the real problem here is that it's not a lack of information. I said this before, but everyone knows they need to eat better, they need to move better, and they need to be consistent, or they need to have a good cadence going. And consistency means just doing the right things at the right time for the right amount of time. And the real issue is that they're essentially, when you really break this down, is that people just want to avoid discomfort because it is uncomfortable to eat vegetables for some freaking reason. It's uncomfortable to be in an environment where people are high achievers. I want to foster an environment at Red Wolf where we're around type A players. I want to be around type A players. You want to be around type A players. Who wants to be average when you think about it? Do you? Listening to this right now, if you're listening to this podcast, you're taking time to listen to it. You're not an average person because you want to accumulate more knowledge and get better. Average just simply means that there's 50% of people who are below you, 50% of people who are above you. Who wants to be that? Who wants to be where, half of everyone is doing better than me at this. Nobody wants to be like that if you really ask them. But the question is, do the actions actually reflect that? And then you're also staying, the last one, so we're avoiding discomfort. You're avoiding the identity change. You have to make things a part of your identity and to actually making it further. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but that is the easiest way to stick with this long term. If you're going to stick with fitness until you're 80, 85 years old, you're going to have to make choices to the point where fitness becomes your lifestyle and part of your identity. That's the only way to be successful. And that's a secret that no one really talks about. And then also the real issue is that you are staying in familiar environments. You're just like going back to the Globo Gym, going back to the app. But the issue is that people always default to their comfort zone. And when was the last time, seriously, think about it, when was the last time you accomplished anything worth having from your comfort zone without paying a lot of money for it? For sure. Exactly. Like you're gonna, especially when there's something you can't buy, like fitness. You can't buy fitness. I'm sorry. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. The hard truth is that at some point it's not about knowing, that it's about whether or not you're willing to actually change. And so changing your environment, getting some accountability, and having some standards is the only way to move forward. And how we can apply this here is that you just have to ask yourself some questions. It's like, what are you pretending to not know? Seriously, that's a great question. What are you pretending to not know? You know this. You can search this on your phone in 10 seconds. You can ask AI, whatever AI software that you use. And where are you repeating the exact same cycle? It's like, can we look? I mean, success leaves clues. And there's a reason why some people are successful. It's unreasonable to think that if I followed, if I have a documented path of success, let's say that, and I have the data to back this up, people who work out 3 to 5 times a week, they eat vegetables with almost every meal, they eat lean proteins, they avoid processed foods, they sleep 7 hours a night, and they do their best to manage stress regardless of whatever profession they're in, they tend to see results. Like, it's really that simple, but not easy. But people are unwilling to break that cycle. And the thing is that a lot of times people get overwhelmed and they think they need to break every cycle all at once, when really all you have to do is just break one at a time and start very small. It's like, hey, if you don't eat vegetables, great, no worries. Let's just start with one vegetable with one meal. Small. Just start with that. And then we build up to that. But the problem is people aren't patient enough either. It's like, great, you can either do this at your pace and take it very slow. It's going to take a very long time, or you can kind of be more aggressive, which I like to do, and blunt force trauma your way to success, which is I'm going to eat a full serving of vegetables with every meal and actually with my snacks as well. So that way I get enough fiber in, and also vegetables are pretty much free calories. So if I'm not full, I just keep snacking on veggies, and boom, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get to my goal weight. So given this simple framework, all you have to do is change your environment, and we provide that here at Red Wolf. We want to have type A people, because A players like A players. We have to change your expectations, because you can, like I said earlier, just now, is like you can either move faster or you can move slower. And that's why we have our ramp up program, because who wants to get results slow? Nobody. The entire fitness industry is built off speed. The entire business industry is built off speed. If you could pay the same price for something, but you can get it double, or sorry, 2 times faster than someone else, you're going to go with the faster one, right? You're going to go with something that will have speed. That's why we have Amazon Prime. That's why, I'm not even going into more examples. We all get it. And then after that, you have to change your identity. That's the third piece here, is that when it's a part of your identity, and it's a part of not who you, but it's essentially a part of who you are. You're this type of person. I'm the type of person who works out 5 times a week. I'm the type of person who goes to bed at 10 p.m. I'm the type of person who eats vegetables and fruits with every meal. I'm the type of person who eats lean protein. I'm the type of person who will be coachable and will listen to my coach and implement at least one strategy to get better every day. That's the type of identity that you're going to have to adopt if you want to see results and not end up like this guy, unfortunately. Now, again, I don't want to use this guy as a person. I don't want to come off like I'm talking down to him, because I'm not. I want to see him be successful. I wish him the best. He didn't join, but this guy needs help. And I'm sending this message out to everyone who keeps on negotiating with themselves, and they need to make a change, because that's the number one thing that I took away from that conversation with him, is that he just kept talking himself out of it, even though I knew for a fact he knew he needed the help. He knew he had to do something like this. He knew that this was a problem, and he knew that he wasn't actually going to change in the long run. You could tell just by looking at his face. Like, I knew that he knew, because he knew that I knew. But in all seriousness, he knows what to do. He's not stupid. He's a very intelligent guy. But again, he's just, a lot of times people they just want to retreat to comfort because they don't want to face the facts and realize that they have an uphill battle to fight, and that they should have started this 5 to 10 years ago. So you make the call, let it sit. Good luck, have fun, because we all need it. See you next time. Nailed it.